question says solve for x in this equation. Okay, so we have 2 times 4 raised to the power 1 over x equals 1 over 32. So what is the value of x? So solution. Okay, so let us approach it in this way. So we have 2 times 4 raised to the power 1 over x equals 1 over 32. Okay, now let us write 4, okay, in index form. So we have 2, okay, as 2 raised to the power 2 to be 4. Here we have this as 1 over x equals, so for 1 over 32, we have this as 1 over 2 raised to the power 5, which is equivalent to 32, okay. Now we have this as 2 times, so when we apply the exponent rule, okay, we have expression in this form. Okay, what do? We write out this, we multiply the power. So when we do that, we have this as mn. So we apply this to this, okay. So we have this as 2. For 2 times this is 2 over x, okay, equals, so we can write this part as 2 to the power minus 5, okay. So at this point, we can apply the multiplication law of indices, multiplying the same base, okay. So we can take out 1 and add the power. So we have 1, which is the power here, plus 2 over x, okay, equals 2 to the power minus 5, okay. Now that we have the same base, so let us work with the power. So for 1 plus 2 over x, okay, so when we look for the LCM is x, okay, so this is x plus, this is 2, so we have x plus 2 over x. When we work out this, so we have this as 2 raised to the power x plus 2 over x, okay, equals 2 raised to the power minus 5, okay. So we can look at the power since we have the same base, okay. So from here we have this as x plus 2 over x, which is this, okay, equals minus 5 over 1. So we can cross multiply. So when we do that, we multiply this with this, multiply this with this, okay. So we have x plus 2 times 1 equals x times minus 5. So when we open up redistribute, we have x plus 2 equals minus 5x, okay. Now we can collect the like sign. We have x plus 5x, okay, equals minus 2. So here we have it as 6x equals minus 2, okay. So what can we do from here? We divide both sides by 6, which is the coefficient of x. So when we do that, we have x to be minus 1 over 3, okay, which is the value of x. So we have x, okay, to be minus 1 over 3, which is the value of x in this equation. So let us try another way of approaching this, okay, approaching this equation. So let's call this method 2, okay. Now when we look at this equation, let us divide both sides of the equation by 2, okay. So when we do that, we have just 4 raised to the power 1 over x, okay, at this point equals, so when we divide this one by 2, this one is out already, so we have this as 1 over 32, so we are dividing by 2, okay. So we have this as 4 raised to the power 1 over x equals 1 over 32 times 1 over 2, since we are dividing fraction. So we have this as 4 raised to the power 1 over x, okay, equals, here we have this as 1 over 64, okay. So for 4 raised to the power 1 over x, okay, equals, so here we can have this as 4 raised to the power minus 3, 4 times 4 is 16, 60 times 4 is this, okay. So we have this as 1 over x equals minus 3 over 1, okay. Now we can cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, this one is minus 3x equals 1. So the value of x, we can divide both sides by minus 3, okay. So we have x to be minus 1 over 3. So either these two methods works for x. The question says solve for x in this equation. So we have 3 raised to the power x plus 3 raised to the power x plus 3 raised to the power s, okay, equals 27 raised to the power 2. So how do we go about this solution? Okay, so for 3 raised to the power x plus 3 raised to the power x plus 3 raised to the power x equals 27 raised to the power 2. Okay, so we can factor out 3 raised to the power x. Okay, so we have it as this. Okay, so here this is written as this. Okay, equals 27 raised to the power 2. So we have this as 3 raised to the power x. So when we add up this, we have it as 3. Okay, equals 27 raised to the power 2. Okay, so from here we can multiply this together. So when we do that, we have 3 raised to the power x times 3 raised to the power 1, okay, equals, so we can have this in index form. So we have 3 raised to the power 3 raised to the power 2, okay. So here we can apply multiplication of indices, having the same base, pick out 1, add up the power, okay, and here we can apply the exponent rule. So we have 3, multiply this with this, we have this as 6. From here we have this as 3 raised to the power x plus 1 equals 3 raised to the power 6, okay. So let's take the power. So we have x plus 1 equals 6, okay. Since we have plus 1, so let's subtract 1 from both sides, okay. Plus 1 minus 1 equals 6 minus 1, okay. So we have this as x. For 6 minus 1, we have it to be 5, which is the value of x. The question says solve for x in this equation. So we have 3 raised to the power minus x equals 243 solution, okay. So we have 3 raised to the power minus x equals 243. Okay, so we can have this in base 3. So we have this side as 3 raised to the power minus x equals 3 raised to the power 5. Okay, so we have equal base. So let's have minus x, which is the power. We have 5. So we divide both sides by minus 1, which is the coefficient of x. So we have x to be minus 5. The question says solve this exponential equation. Okay, how do we do this solution? Okay, so we have 9 raised to the power 8x minus 5 equals 1 over 27. Okay, in the brackets raised to the power 2. Okay, so let us have this in base 3. So we have 3 raised to the power 2 into 8x minus 5 equals, so for 1 over 27, you can write this part as 1 over 3 squared, 3 raised to the power 3, which is written as 27, or we have it this way, 3 raised to the power minus 3, okay, which is written as this. So we will write this in the bracket as 3 raised to the power minus 3, okay, which is this 1 over 27. So we keep our square. So now we have this as 3 raised to the power. So when we distribute this, we have this as 2 times 8x is 16x minus, for 2 times 5, we have to be 10. So this equals, now we can apply the exponent rule by multiplying this with this. So we have this as 3 raised to the power minus 6. So for 3 times 2 is 6. Now we have the same base. So let's take the power. We have this as 16x minus 10 equals minus 6, okay. So for this, we can add 10 to both sides, okay. So we have 16x minus 10 plus 10 equals minus 6 plus 10, okay. So this is out, that is 0. So we have this as 16x equals, so for minus 6 plus 10, we have this as 4, okay. So when we divide both sides by 16, which is coefficient of x, so we have this as 1 over 4, okay. Now we can decide to check this equation when x is 1 over 4, okay. So let's have it somewhere here. So to do that, so since we have 9, let's check the value of x to be 1 over 4 in this equation. So we have 9 is to the power 8 x minus 5, okay. Let's resolve this left hand side of the equation. So we have this as 9. So for 8, okay, so we have 9 to the power 8. So for x, we have it as 1/4 minus 5. Okay, so here we have this as 9. So this will simplify this. We have this as 2 minus 5. Okay, so it's set as saying 9 x to the power minus 3. Okay, now for 9 x to the power minus 3, we can have this as 1 raised to the power. For 9 to the power minus 3 is 9 times 9, which is 81. Okay, so 81 times 9, we have it as 9. 9 times 8 is 72. Okay, so for 9 to the power minus 3, we have it as 729. Okay, so is it the same thing as 1/27 squared? Okay, so when we say 1 over, so for 27 squared is equivalent to 729. Let's check. So we have 27 times 27. For 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 4. We have to be 18. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. We have to be 5. By the time we add this together, we have 729. Okay, so that means for 729 is equivalent to 27 squared. So that means the value of x equals 1/4. Thank you very much.